whether you got in this position accidentally or on purpose in order to work your way around other balls on the table, they come up. Whether your opponent left it for you or it happened on the break, whatever the situation, they come up all day, every day. So it's very important for you to know all seven and to practice all seven of these shots. So if it happened accidentally, you should take note of what led up to getting here and what you did wrong. And then when you have time or you just feel like it, then you should practice not getting there if you accidentally got there. And this is why I recommend throwing all 9 balls out on the table and just playing. But not just, knocking balls in and, doing whatever. You really have to take notes of what you were doing wrong. And then you have to go back and fix it. Because I believe there's no better teacher than experience. But experience is worthless if we never fix what's broken. So I'm about to show you 7 3-railers, but a couple of them are kind of different variations of another one. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. And like I said, these things come up all the time, every day, every hour of the day, every minute of the day, on some pool table somewhere. So the point is, let's get friendly with them instead of, being a little squeamish of them. So yeah, that's right. Let's make friends with the 3-railers. Let's hug. Let's hug. And let's just get comfortable with them and practice them. And I promise your game will go to another level. And these will almost be welcoming. The fans love them, I can tell you that. And it's a pretty shot. The fans adore stuff like this. So that might not mean anything to you, but I think it's important that the fans enjoy what they're watching. And lastly, these are also great for dialing in the speed of the table and the tightness of the rails, and how the cue ball is reacting off the rails. That's not to say you should go out of your way to shoot these when you don't have to. That's just, you're not thinking right if that's what you're doing. And it's not enough just to know the shot. You have to take note of where the cue ball is hitting the rail and what kind of angle it's coming off the rail. So this way, when a shot does come up, you know if any balls on the table are in your way or in the path of that cue ball. So you would know what kind of English to put on it, or whether or not you should shoot the shot at all. Yeah, I am mandated to put an intro in. Actually, I put the mandate on myself because I believe the musicians deserve some credit, even though, Google takes care of these musicians. They do okay. Still, I don't think I could do this without them. They're a vital part of my work, and I give them some extra credit. So if you have some time and you like the song, go ahead to their homepage. They all have YouTube homepages, channels, and you can go check out all their music there, including some of the unreleased stuff, that they own the copyrights on because, they're going for the big time. Support your artists. Thank you. Let's get on. Well, if you've been playing pool for one day, you've seen this shot. And if you've been playing pool for 70 years, you've seen this shot about 20 million times. It's going to happen. Nobody likes it, but it happens. It's actually harder than you think to get on the left side of this 4 ball, and, although it's hard to get on it, it's the easy way to shoot the 4 and get down on the 9. But that's assuming that, the 9 ball is a money ball. Maybe it's a 5 ball there. So it's a little bit of a different story, and it doesn't matter. There's balls on the table. Maybe you can't just get on the left side of the 4 ball and just roll down for the 5 ball because there's balls in your way or whatever. So we agree it's going to come up. Let's go ahead and practice it. And as we mentioned, this is one of those table speed testers. This is great for testing the speed of the table and the hardness of the rails. So chances are you play most of your pull on 1 or 2 tables, so you know those tables, and now you're going to compare a new table with those tables to see if this one's faster or slower. So let's dial this in. Now, depending on the position I need, I'm just shooting for the end of this long route right about here. For now, just because I'm warming up, I'm testing the table and I'm seeing how, things are going right here. And if I can get pretty much straight in on a 9. And now we're changing sides. That other one was top left-hand English because you need a little bit of running English here. That shot right there was top right. And now I think we're moving down table. Yeah, we're moving down table. This one's also top right, running English. I think this next one catches the corner of that side pocket closest to us right here. And yeah, it did. So it sent it on a wonky angle and it hit the short rail first, but it was still okay. Top right here. And that's the way you want to do it. It's a good shot to practice. It's a good shot if you've never been on the table you're about to play on. Here comes number 2. And this one you also want to put right hand English on it. And you want to come up a little bit shorter than most guys shoot to come up on. So you're going between the second and third diamond right there, and it should trickle down. That one's a little bit far away, but it's all good. And I'm putting a little bit of bottom. And on that one, I think I put a little bit of top on it. That's why I went long. If you put bottom on this ball, it'll increase the angle off that first route right there, and it'll come up short when you can just trickle down. And now I'm making it a little bit harder, and I put a couple balls in the way, see if I can work around them. Yeah, it should be good. And a little bit of bottom right. This running English there will spin the cue ball counterclockwise, and when it hits that first rail, it should spin it into the right position. Bottom right. And now it's a little bit different because I'm working around that 4 ball there. So you can't put too much bottom on that because you're going to hit that 5 ball on that first short rail down there. And that shot right there is kind of dangerous. I could have easily got hooks behind the 4 ball. So I don't know what happened to my obstacle balls, but it is what it is. It looks like I'm going to stick with this one for a while. I'm not quite dialed in on it yet. Here's your one. You ever get in this position? Of course you have. Everybody has. Everyone has. Willie Moscone has. Everybody has. Let's say we're playing 8 ball. And the table's cleared except your last object ball and the 8 ball. Now you have to get on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend this usually. If there's other obstacle balls on the table, you're going to have some problems most likely. Just make sure there's a clear pathway if you decide to do that with other balls on the table. But this is it for you. It's do or die. You got to get on the 8. And we are moving the cue ball all the way down, or all the way up table and all the way back down table. And this is how you handle it, Scooby. And we're coming off a parallel angle effect on this, what is it, second, third rail there. And coming back and going for actually 5 rails. You don't have to go 5 rails there. You can just trickle back down table. You don't want to flirt with that scratch. Maybe a hair bottom there. But yeah, if you shoot for the long rail, it's a little bit safer than going for the short rail. But either way will work as long as you dial in the speed of the table there. And I'm going to keep on shooting it here. Another great table speed tester. And yeah, go for the long rail. Because the long rail on the right hand side there, that'll slow the cue ball down a little bit. And here's another one. And this is a variation of one of the ones we went over already. I think it was number 2. But this time we're playing into the 2-ball line. So you see where the 2-ball is, and we want to be a little bit on the right hand side of the 2-ball line so we can get back down table for the right angle on the 3. So yeah, certainly don't want to go any further than that right there. But yeah, a little bit of bottom, actually a lot of bottom on that. I want to increase the angle off the cue ball so I can get a sharper angle and come up a little bit higher on the table. And here's the hardest shot of all. And stick with this one. It might take you a little while to dial in. This is a tough shot, and it's also tough to get on this 8-ball from here. And you want to shoot this with top left. And it's a little confusing here. That'll give you clockwise running English off that first rail. And you should make it all the way back down the table. Just like that. Again, you're shooting for the long rail and you're trying to bounce off the short rail. This is tough, guys, so if you don't get it right away, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's about exactly perfect. Don't worry about too much of an angle off the A unless you're really ridiculously bad on it. So yeah, that's perfect. I mean, all you have to do is, cinch the 8 in and you're going to be on the 9. Top left. Looks like I'm getting my 3 railers down pat. These are always good to practice, guys. I mean, if you find yourself at the table and not knowing what to practice, you should practice 3 railers for a whole lot of reasons. Alright, now this is kind of a variation of the last one, and it's not quite as hard, but it still takes me a little while to dial in because now I'm used to the other one. Put the 3-ball, or the 1-ball about 3 diamonds up, and put the cue ball on the spot. shoot for that pocket down there. I don't think I have the momentum here. I don't. I think I'm stuck behind the 9. And it wasn't the first time this day. I got stuck behind that 9 a couple times. That almost looked like a scratch there. And I think I have it this time. Yeah, I do. I can tell by how I'm getting down on the 8 that I have it. I'm not too sure why the camera's still rolling, but it's still rolling. I think I stick with this one for a little while too. These are tough shots. It's really easy to get stuck behind that 9, and people say, why don't you just trickle up on it? And it's because I like having the insurance of those rails. You know, I want to open up my stroke. I don't want to baby it. That's when you make mistakes, when you get too nervous and start babying stuff. And that one's going to come out way short. See, that's how people tell me to shoot it, but I just don't like it. Now, you're going to say, well, if you shot that any harder, you would have scratched. And I'm just going to run this one out, too. That was another 3 rail right there. So, a little bit of a bonus here. We have one more after this. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to stick with it. I don't like how I'm all over the table and not being consistent with it. And that's how I like to do it. I like to hit the long rail first, and then the short rail and bounce out. I just feel like I have more, I don't know, security. I don't know what I'm smiling at there. I looked at the camera and was laughing. I think somebody said something, but I don't have the audio on in the back. Oh, now I remember. They were talking about me, and they didn't think I could hear them. No, what some people don't know is I hear every single thing going on all around me all at the same time, and I see everything too. And you learn these things when you're out, grinding out in the bars and stuff. You always need to know what's going on, who's doing what, who's talking about what, and yeah. And if I hadn't heard him, the microphone on this camera is incredibly great, and it would have picked it up, and I would have just had to come home, upload it, and turn up the volume, and I would have called it. I'd catch everything anybody was saying. I'm old, but my hearing kicks butt. I'm not too sure about my eyes or pretty much anything else, but my ears kick real booty. Anyway, this one's a little different. This one calls for top right. And there's a couple of variations of it, so let me show you. And on this one, you have the luxury of going to the short rail because you have a lot more room to get on the 7, or you could go to the long rail. I believe I started out going to the long rail, and then I realized, hey, you have 2 diamonds here to get to the short rail. You might as well do it. Ain't no big thing. And take out that corner pocket scratch there, too, so... yeah, it just comes down to how much right-hand English you want to put on this, and you're just going to have to experiment with it. If you put a little less, you're going to get a long rail. If you put a little bit more, you're going to increase the angle coming off that second rail, and then you're going to go to the short rail. Just don't scratch on this. You have plenty of room. There's absolutely no justified reason to scratch on this. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. I do appreciate you. And thanks for your loyalty and putting up with my creative moves. I know that when you get that notification, most of you guys are expecting a pool video. But it's not always a pool video. I don't know, it's just the way I am. Tomorrow I might wake up and make a video about driving to Canada or climbing a mountain or, whatever. I just get like that sometimes. I like waking up in the morning and just doing whatever the hell I feel like doing. Most likely I'll wake up and cut the grass and get something to eat and start working on another pool video. This one's going to take a couple days to work on, so I wouldn't expect one tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, the next one will be on keeping your elbow up through the stroke. It's often easier said than done. So, yeah, I'm going to focus on that because I do have a problem with dropping my elbow sometimes, and I'm trying to kick that habit. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in, and yeah, I'm just going to run a 9-ball rack for you, and, just to close it out. And I'll see you next time, man. Peace.